magazine is sitting with Luvuyo Rubushe, who is the current South African junior under-17 men's water polo coach. Luvuyo, thank you for joining us. How are you today?
Good, thanks. Good, thank you.
Luvuyo, you had quite a stellar junior career. You represented Border for multiple years. You represented the South African men's under-20 junior team as well. When did you decide to switch over to coaching, and why?
It was on my move in 2012 after I matriculated in 2011. I had no idea what I wanted to study at the time, and there was a lot of pressure on going to university, getting a degree, possibly sticking with your mates, doing what you want to do, such as water polo. But I couldn't find any place in the country, such as a university, that I wanted to go to that I was actually comfortable with. Not to say there was anything wrong with the universities, but I think with myself at the time, I maybe just wanted a little bit of a break from playing as well. I describe it, well, not to describe it, I definitely had burnout. Don't know if it went on to being psychological, but it was definitely physical after training so hard in matric to make that SA under-20 side. So I started coaching in 2012, January at St. Albans College. Yeah, on the shift, it was a very easy shift to make because I was working for my first water polo coach, Christian, a Hungarian national, who is the first team water polo coach at St. Albans and the director of water polo there as well.
Luvuyo, would you consider your first season as a water polo coach as a baptism of fire? What was the hardest thing to learn, and what was the hardest thing in terms of transitioning from player to coach?
The most difficult thing, and I still think about it now when I stand on pool deck and coach any team. It could be a school team, a club team, the provincial side, and even now, just recently, the junior national men's side. It's just understanding that as a player, you are responsible for yourself and how you're going to contribute towards the unit. As a coach, it's completely different. You have to put that unit together. You have to highlight the great things about the team, and you have to highlight the things that we can't do in the water, such as making silly mistakes. I know it sounds like a broad thing to say, but it's something that it happens at practice, so it will happen in a game. So, like, going back to that, it's just it's just understanding that it's not about one mentality now. It's about putting together 13 mentalities.
Luvuyo, it's clear to everybody that you are talented as a coach. You've only been coaching since 2012, and 5 years down the line, you have been appointed as the South African men's junior under-17 national coach, who won gold at the EU12's Nationals Water Polo Cup earlier this year. Your first major gig as a coach. How did that come about?
It was just putting myself out there, basically, and putting myself out there to go to the selection camps and the training camps. It was as easy as that, and also just carrying on with what I do with my coaching style, changing nothing about it.
Now tell us, going overseas and participating in this competition, it must have been daunting. How did you prepare your boys and yourself to be able to go play overseas against European opposition, where water polo is a much bigger sport than South Africa, and come back with a gold medal?
We didn't have a lot of preparation. We actually, when the team got together as the whole team with the staff members as well, it was only at the hotel when we got to Czech Republic. So there were a lot of conversations had. So when we were traveling up, I got 15-minute meetings with the boys in the airports, on the plane, just to find out what they think about water polo, where their mentality is, what they're expecting from me as a coach, what they're expecting from themselves as well from this tournament. And I think what pulled us through, because there was no preparation, was the fighting spirit. We call it the gees.
Results achieved by your team at the Water Polo Cup in Czechoslovakia were pretty, you won pretty far. I mean, it was 13-1, 13-1, etc. Except for the final, where you played England and the final score was 8-6. What was different about that match, and how did you guys go about trying to win it?
We definitely had to watch all of their games once we realized that they were the top two in their pool coming up. So they were not saying our competition from the beginning, but each team we had to watch carefully and plan our tactics towards making sure that we are going to be able to hold on to the ball when necessary for our 30 seconds, able to score in those 30 seconds as well, and making sure that we don't have to, we're not conceding goals. So our defense was the main thing in this tournament, the biggest thing. I think that's why we ran away with it in some games like the Welsh game.
What do you think is the greatest lesson that you guys learned for your players as well as yourself as the coach?
Oh, the mental preparation. The mental preparation is the biggest thing, and it goes down to a week before the tournament, before you're training for the tournament, when you wake up in the morning for the game as well. The mentality and focus that you have to bring once you get onto the pool deck and start stretching. It was a big thing. It almost let us down in the game against the Czech Republic, who were well behind because of our mental prep. And it went right down from number 1 to 13, including myself as the coach.
Luvuyo, you've been appointed as the National Under-17 Junior Men's Coach for 4 years now. This is your first year. What are your aspirations as the National Under-17 Men's Junior Coach?
This is the first step into being international water polo players for South Africa. So building a good base for them, such as creating extra training programs, possibly getting funding into these training programs as well, because at the moment we are paying to go play international water polo. Well, the players are. So all of it's self-funded. So it would be good to see in this next 4 years, even if it doesn't go right up into the men's team, which will happen in the future, but starting with the age group that I have now, to be awesome. Making sure that we have like a fluid system.
Luvuyo, as we end off, as the coach of under-17 water polo players, if you had a special message for the next generation of water polo players, or even those guys who really enjoy water polo, really want to go somewhere with it, but don't know how to, what would you say to them?
Find a pool. Find a pool that, I'm not going to say it's that easy, but try find a water polo club that's near you, because there are a lot of passionate coaches in the country. There are a lot of passionate coaches who can identify talent as well, and I think once the talent has been identified, it has to be backed up with 99% of hard work and not letting go of your dreams, because this is something that I think I would have let go of in a year's time. I don't think I would have been coaching if I wasn't in the position that I am now, such as coaching at Pretoria Boys High and getting this junior national team. But it really is about pushing through. It's a thought that quitting coaching is a thought that I had the past few years, but telling myself that I need to keep pushing, and I think that's what the kids in the future need to realize as well, is that you really do need to keep pushing. As bad as it may seem, as hard and difficult as it will be, it's going to be worth it at the end.
Luvuyo, Game On Magazine would like to take this opportunity to thank you so much for spending some time with us as we learn more about your coaching philosophy, as well as your gold medal victory in Europe earlier this year. So we thank you and we wish you all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you very much, Dan.